Welcome to our chilling haunted tour of Independence, Missouri, where history meets the supernatural. Across the country, townside places steeped in ghostly lore and paranormal intrigue. In this video, we explore 4 of Independence's most haunted spots. However, there's a twist. Only 3 of these locations are genuinely haunted. The 4th is a tale crafted by us here at Wandering Walks of Wonder. So as you join us on this journey, your challenge is to figure out which 3 locations harbor real hauntings and which is one of our creation. Stick around until the end of the video where we'll reveal which of Independence's haunted locations is pure fiction. Today's journey takes us to 4 locations in Independence: the Vale Mansion, the 1859 jail and Marshall home, Harry S. Truman's home, and the Bingham Wagner estate. So, if you dare, let's explore the chilling tales behind Independence's most haunted places. Our first stop on our haunted tour of Independence, Missouri is the historic Vale Mansion. The Vale Mansion is a Victorian Gothic-style estate that not only impresses with its grandeur, but also invites curiosity due to its dark history and paranormal tales. Built by Colonel Harvey Vale, a prominent businessman and postmaster, the mansion's beauty contrasts sharply with the tragic events associated with it, particularly the life and death of Sophia Vale, which has given rise to its haunted reputation. Sophia Vale's story is central to the mansion's haunted lore. She suffered from debilitating health issues and became increasingly isolated. In 1883, just 2 years after moving into the mansion, Sophia died under mysterious circumstances. Officially, her death was ruled a suicide by morphine overdose, but rumors circulated that her depression, possibly worsened by loneliness in the mansion's vast halls, led her to this tragic death. Some speculated that the pressure of maintaining the lavish lifestyle and Colonel Vale's frequent business absences contributed to her despair. Many believe that Sophia's spirit never left the mansion. Her presence is often felt on the 2nd floor, where she likely spent much of her time. Guests and staff have reported seeing a woman in Victorian dress standing near the windows or wandering the hallways. There are also frequent reports of cold spots and an overwhelming sense of sadness that envelops visitors in certain areas of the home. Colonel Harvey Vale lived a tumultuous life after Sophia's death. He was embroiled in a major postal scandal, accused of defrauding the U.S. government by embezzling funds through contracts. Although acquitted after a high-profile trial, his reputation was forever damaged. Some believe that Harvey's spirit, burdened by the weight of this scandal and his wife's tragic death, still roams the mansion. Visitors report seeing a male figure in period clothing, which they often attribute to Harvey himself. One of the eeriest rooms in the mansion is a children's bedroom that was never used by the Vale family, as they had no children. However, many guests claim to hear laughter and footsteps of small children coming from this room, which is now decorated with period toys and furniture. The source of these ghostly sounds remains a mystery, but they are common enough that many visitors feel a chill upon entering this room. Our next stop on our haunted tour takes us to the 1859 jail and Marshall house. This is a historic site with a rich history and a reputation for being haunted. Built in 1859, it served as the Jackson County Jail and home to the county marshal for decades. housing a range of prisoners from common criminals to notorious outlaws. Its long, dark history includes tales of suffering, death, and Civil War turbulence, making it a hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors and staff report a variety of paranormal activity at the jail, including such things as disembodied voices, where visitors frequently hear voices coming from the cells as if prisoners are still arguing or pleading for help. These voices are often faint and muffled as though trapped behind the thick walls, giving the impression that the spirits of former inmates remain locked up to this day. There are also cold spots, which are often associated with paranormal activity, that are frequently felt in the jail, particularly near the cells where prisoners would have been confined. Visitors have also reported feeling sudden waves of anxiety or sadness when standing near certain cells or objects, such as the heavy iron bars. One of the most famous individuals linked to the 1859 jail is William Cantrell. This notorious Confederate guerrilla leader, known for leading raids and ambushes prior to and during the Civil War. Quantrill was a prisoner at the jail for a short period of time, though he later escaped, but some visitors claim to feel his presence in the building. His association with death and destruction during the Civil War has led to a belief that his restless spirit may still roam the jail, perhaps tied to the violence and conflict of that period. Adjacent to the jail is the Marshal's house, where the county marshal and his family lived, and it is also said to be haunted. Visitors report hearing footsteps upstairs even though no one is present, and doors are known to open and close on their own. Some believe that the marshal's house might be haunted by past lawmen or their family members whose lives were entwined with the harsh realities of the jail just next door. And then we have the haunted women's jail. The jail has a small area that was used to house female prisoners, which has its share of ghost stories. Visitors often report feeling uneasy in this part of the jail, with some claiming to have heard crying or whispering voices. The women's cells were even more isolated than the men's jail, and it's thought that some of the female prisoners died alone here and in despair. Our next stop on our haunted tour of Independence, Missouri takes us to the Harry S. Truman home. This was the residence of the 33rd President of the United States, Harry S. Truman, and his wife, Bess. While the home itself is a symbol of Truman's modest lifestyle and devotion to his family, there are some eerie stories that have developed around the property, contributing to its reputation as a haunted site. One of the most prominently ghostly figures said to inhabit the Truman home is that of Bess Truman, who lived in the house until her death in 1982. Bess was known for her strong personality and deep connection to the home where she spent much of her life. Visitors and staff have reported feeling her presence in the house, particularly in her favorite rooms such as the parlor and the upstairs bedroom. Some claim to see a shadowy figure or feel cold drafts in areas where Beth spent much of her time. And a few visitors have reported the sound of a woman's voice as if she's continuing to carry on conversations, and the faint smell of roses, said to be Bess's favorite flower, sometimes lingers in the air, even when no flowers are present. Although Harry S. Truman passed away in 1972, stories have circulated that his spirit may still be attached to the home. People believe that Truman, a man deeply connected to his community and family, has not entirely left the place where he returned after his presidency. Staff and visitors have described hearing footsteps in rooms that were once part of his daily routine. and others have mentioned feeling as though someone is watching them, particularly in his study where he spent many quiet hours reflecting on his life and career. On rare occasions, some visitors claim to have seen an older man dressed in a suit resembling Harry Truman moving throughout the home. The apparition is said to fade quickly, leaving an eerie silence in its wake. The figure is often spotted near the front door of the library as if Truman is still welcoming guests to his beloved home. Several of the ghost stories about the Truman home revolve around unexplained noises, such as the sounds of doors opening and closing on their own, despite the house being carefully preserved and closed to the public outside of tours. Strange knocking sounds have also been heard reported as if someone is at the door or knocking on the walls, but no one is ever found. And then cold spots, which are common in haunted locations, have been frequently felt by visitors, especially in the upstairs rooms where both Harry and Bess spent their later years. Our final stop on our haunted tour of Independence, Missouri takes us to the Bingham Wagner Estate. This is an elegant 19th century mansion with a long and storied history. Built in 1852, it was owned by the prominent artist George Caleb Bingham and later became home of the Wagner family, who expanded and enhanced the estate. While it's celebrated for its architecture and historic significance, the estate has also garnered a reputation for being haunted, with numerous ghost stories circulating among staff and visitors. The first story that we have is of the spirit of George Caleb Bingham. Bingham, one of the estate's earliest owners, was a renowned American artist known for his paintings of life along the Missouri River. Bingham lived in the home during a tumultuous period of history, including the Civil War. Some believe that Bingham's spirit still lingers at the estate, perhaps drawn to the place where he spent some of his most productive years as an artist. Visitors and staff have reported seeing a male apparition believed to be Bingham wandering the halls of the estate, particularly in rooms where his artwork was once displayed or created. Some claim to have seen him staring out of windows as if contemplating the landscape that inspired many of his paintings. The apparition is often described as a quiet, reflective figure befitting Bingham's artistic temperament. One of the most persistent ghost stories at the Bingham Wagner estate involves a lady in white, a common apparition in many haunted locations. This spectral figure dressed in a flowing white gown has been seen gliding through the mansion's halls, particularly in the upstairs bedroom and the grand staircase. Some speculate that she may be connected to the Wagner family, possibly one of the women who lived in the home during its later years. In addition to the main house, the estate house is also known for the estate house's carriage house is also known for strange and unexplained circumstances. Staff have reported hearing the sound of footsteps and the clinking of metal as if horses were being prepared for travel, despite the absence of any living animals in the carriage house today. Some believe these sounds are residual energy from the estate's days as a bustling center of activity. The carriage house, with its dark, confined spaces, is also a place where many people feel uneasy, as if they are being watched by unseen eyes. But one of the more eerie tales associated with the estate involves the grand piano in the parlor. On several occasions, visitors and staff have reported hearing faint piano music playing, despite that room being empty. Some believe that a former resident of the home may have enjoyed playing music and continues to do so in the afterlife. The music is usually soft, like a lullaby, but the experience of hearing it is enough to send chills down the spines of those who encounter it. Now that you have seen 4 of the most haunted places in Independence, Missouri, remember you had a challenge before you. 3 of these locations that we just saw are genuinely haunted, while a 4th was a tale crafted by us here at Wandering Walks of Wonder. Can you guess which one of these 4 locations is a story made up by us here? Our journey took us to 4 locations today: the Vale Mansion, the 1859 jail and Marshall's home, Harry S. Truman's home, and the Bingham Wagner estate. We'll pause here for just a minute, let you reflect back on the 4 haunted locations that we saw here in Independence, and take a guess which one is a story made up by us here at Wandering Walks of Wonder. If you guessed the Truman home, then you are correct. 3 of those locations were truly haunted, but the Harry S. Truman home is a story made up by us here at Wandering Walks of Wonder. We hope you've enjoyed this tour. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on our next Wandering Walks of Wonder. Take care now. Bye-bye.